Welcome! Today you're going to be making your Poetry Slam book. Your Poetry Slam book looks like a small little booklet, but when you open it up, it explodes with all of your amazing poetry. So today you're going to be learning how to build a Poetry Slam book so you can keep your own poems hidden inside. To make this project, you will need 3 square pieces of paper and 2 smaller square pieces of cardboard. For this, I just used regular printer paper and I cut it to be a square. So these were the regular 8.5 by 11 paper, and when I cut it to be a square, each side is 8.5 by 11. When you're getting the cardboard set up, you'll notice the cardboard that I'm using is half as long and half as wide as my square paper. So since these squares are 8.5 by 11 by 8.5 by 11, these cardboard squares are 4.25 by 4.25. The cardboards take up 1/4 of the square. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our first piece of paper. All 3 pieces of paper will be folded exactly the same, so we'll use the same strategy for each piece of paper. To start, you're going to take your square and you're going to fold your bottom right corner up to touch the top left. Make sure you line up the corner very neatly, flatten your paper, and crease your fold firmly. When I let go, my paper stays folded because I creased it firmly. Then unfold and flip your paper over. Next, I'm going to fold from my right-hand side, and I'm going to fold it over to touch the left-hand side exactly. Flatten and crease my paper. I'll open it up. And I'm going to repeat that side to side by going from the bottom side up to the top. It wants to close up and it makes a smaller square. I'm going to crease it really firmly and right down the middle where that line is, and that's the opening and closing mechanism of your book. Once you've got that done, you're going to repeat that process with your other 2 papers. I'm going to quickly review the steps, and then I encourage you to pause the video until you have all 3 squares made. All right, here's my second paper, corner to corner. Flip, side to side. Bottom to top. Bring it together. Crease firmly. And last one. Corner to corner. Flip. Side to side. And bottom to top. And bring it together. All right, feel free to pause the video while you make all 3 of your squares, and then start it back up when you're ready to build your book. All right, so right now you should have all 3 of your square pieces, your squares for your cover, and I should have mentioned earlier, but you'll also need a glue stick. So first you're going to take one of your squares and you're going to open it up, and we're going to put glue on 2 of the squares. Notice these ones with the folds, they're not going to get glue. Instead, I'm going to glue this square and this square. These squares would be on the inside if I folded it back up like it was. So when I open it up, these would be like inside squares. So I'm going to glue just inside the lines. I don't want my glue to extend beyond the lines. Outline it, and then an X in the middle. Same with this square over here. Glue, and an X in the middle. So now I've got my squares glued. This one is glue, and this one is glue. These ones that are folded are not glued. I'm going to take my next folded piece, I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to take this square right here under my hand, this one, and I'm going to line it up exactly with my square that has glue. I'm going to push it down so that it lines up, and I'm going to push down so it stays attached. And I'm going to do the same thing with this other glued square. Here's my third piece. I'm going to open it up a bit, flip it over, and now this square that doesn't have the center fold, this one, I'm going to line it up with this glued square and press down. If you want to make sure that you've got it correct, this one would fold in, this one would fold in, but the middle one wants to fold down. Now it's time to glue on the cover. I'm going to come to this side square, and I'm going to put my glue just on this one. Same as last time. Make your frame, make your X, and I'm going to take one of my cardboard squares and line it up and glue it down. Then I'll slide on over to this side and do the same thing here. I'm going to put glue on this one and slide it down. And then my final step, I'm going to flip the whole thing over and gently start wiggling it together. If it doesn't want to go together, one strategy is to fold up this corner and flatten it. Fold up this piece and flatten it. And then this one wants, if you flip it, it wants to go inside. And once you've got all your pieces folded, you can crease it pretty good. And you just built a book. There we go. The more times you crease it and open and close it, the easier it gets to open and close quickly. The first few open and closes, it's not quite sure what to do. Once you've got that, it's time to start adding your poetry. You should have at least 2 poems, but if you've got more, add those. You can write them anywhere on your page, add art and color to represent what it is you're trying to say in your poems. You can just outline around the poem, add pictures. It is totally up to you. The last thing you should do is decorate your cover. If you use tag board, crayon shows up really great on that. And then on the back, please put your name, your block, your student number, and the date you built this. I can't wait to see your finished poetry slam books.